Welcome to KZB Podcast.
Wiandre Pretorius was a person of interest in the murder of Witness D. He was actually the first person of interest that we took in for questioning. We had seized his firearms as well as cell phones that are still in police custody or possession for further investigation. That particular investigation is still ongoing, and it is at an advanced stage. We won't comment further on that, but it's safe to say that our Gauteng detectives are still on the ground investigating that particular incident. So Wiandre Pretorius was one of two persons of interest right after Witness D was murdered that was taken into questioning, and certain items seized such as firearms and cell phones. So we are investigating the attempted hit on Wiandre Pretorius that allegedly took place outside his home on Thursday, which is a matter that he reported, that there was a hit on his life. Our ballistics experts took the necessary evidence and they are examining it. And at a later stage, we will then provide feedback on how far that investigation is. But in terms of this particular incident, this latest incident, we are investigating, and we have registered rather an inquest docket into the suicide of Wiandre Pretorius.
Two quick questions from me. He shot himself apparently in front of his partner. This is Joan Marie Extian, who's also a police sergeant who was named at the Madlanga Commission. Do you see a link in terms of her being with him in his final moments? Of course, she was his fiancée. And whether you've also been able to establish which weapon he used to commit suicide yesterday, if, as you say, all of his weapons have been confiscated by police.
Well, I can confirm that from what we have gathered, his wife was on the scene. We are told that there was an argument between himself and his wife before he pulls the trigger on himself. We are still investigating what could they have been arguing about.
One of the excuses given by IPID in not finishing Mr. Emmanuel Mbense's murder case timeously was that the investigating officers were being threatened, and that had to stall the investigation or the imminent arrest of the said perpetrators. It was over 2 months ago when it was reported again that there is an imminent arrest of the suspects in the murder of Marius van der Merwe, who's known as Witness D from the Madlanga Commission. Let us hope now that this so-called suicide that happened last night is going to accelerate the arrests of the remaining suspects, because if you continue like this, that will mean, therefore, the truth will die with the people that are continuing to die, that are involved in these type of cases. You know, we need to know if these are people that were vigilante groups that turned rogue, or were they rogue before they were vigilante, claiming to be fighting for the community, but then were actually the criminals themselves. Because in this case of Wiandre, the line is just too thin. It's actually blurred. Witness D, or Marius van der Merwe, told us through the Madlanga Commission who the murder suspect should be. So why did it take so long from his death now, which is in December last year, to now that no one was arrested? Were the people again being threatened? Were their lives again being threatened, the investigating officers, as they have claimed with the Mbense case? Here's Witness D at the Madlanga Commission. Please listen.
The second bedroom. As I moved towards the door, I noticed two unknown Brakpan SAPS members leaving the house in haste. One of them was carrying a small black sports bag. I exited the house. I was joined outside in the garden next to the truck by Kobus and the others. Shortly after this, Wiandre and Kershaw Lee joined us. I asked whether a suspect talked, and Wiandre responded that he will never ever talk again. A discussion between the law enforcement members then took place as to how to deal with the scene. Kershaw Lee tried phoning a paramedic to declare the suspect dead. Wiandre approached me and informed me that he will phone General Feroz Khan to fix this. I in turn responded and said no, as this is Wiandre's problem. He responded and said it's all of us in this, and if anyone talks, he will go to prison for killing them. I walked away from Wiandre, and I walked away from Wiandre as myself and Wiandre have had issues in the past.
On the next clip is Wiandre after he claimed he was ambushed last week.
How are you doing, sir? You okay?
The Brakpan murder, I spoke about that we received a referral from the IPID where we then initiated action. As I said, we received early this week or last week, we initiated action.
Hopefully it will be a quick action this time. We see these suspects getting arrested and being taken to court so we can hear what is the full story, if they will be able to ventilate it through the courts. Anyways, thank you for listening, South Africa. Stay blessed. See you next time.